What story would Vince tell about your hoisting of that trophy? What would he tell him?
Well, Vince would tell you I had the greatest night's sleep you can possibly have
Come on now.
prior to the game.
Did you really?
And then Vince would tell you also that that was my first Super Bowl, and I didn't know exactly, the particulars.
Yes.
Some guys catch the bus, some guys catch a cab. I drove a rental car to the game.
Come on now.
That's the truth. And what you don't know is I pulled up. Otis McKinney and I pulled up to the parking attendant and said, "Excuse me, miss, where do the players park?" And she says, "Do you have a parking pass?" And I said, "No." She says, "Well, you can't get in." I said, No, ma'am. I'm playing with the Raiders. I'm playing in today's game, and I need to get inside." She says, "Well, I'm sorry. If you don't have a parking pass, you can't get in." So I looked at Otis. We backed the car up, pulled it against the curb, looked at each other. He grabbed his bag. I grabbed mine. We took off running to the locker room, and to this day, I don't know what happened to that rental-car.
Get out of here.
That is a true story. Now, think about this
You
also.
ditched the rent-a-car.
Yes, I did. Think about this, right? That's pre-9/11. I mean, today they would have shut down the whole game.
Yes, they would have.
Yeah, so.
So you ran Mad
Yes.
Dash.
Yeah,
that
so
was
I-
your first. That was your first run of the Super
Absolutely.
Sunday.
I ran to the locker room untouched, so I knew things were going, going
Marshall
well.
Faulk told me the greatest story of his first Pro Bowl experience, where he and Natron Means missed the bus to the stadium. So they drove to the stadium, and Marshall, being his rookie season, got a nice ride. It was, I think, like he said, a yellow Lamborghini.
Oh,
Have you ever heard this story?
No, I
Okay, here we
didn't,
go.
but
And you know
it sounds
Marshall.
great,
You know
yeah.
Marshall very, very well. So he and Natron Means, it was raining that day, earlier in the day. He smashed the car up,
No.
left it on the side of the road, okay, to get to the game. They hitchhiked to the stadium, left the car on the side of the road, and by the time they got to the stadium, Coach Bill Cowher of the AFC, because you know Marshall was a Colt,
Right.
was talking to some troopers, some local Hawaii state troopers, looking for the owner of that vehicle. And Cowher, I guess, talked him out of doing anything with Marshall,
Wow.
who then went out in the game and became the most outstanding player of the Pro Bowl, for which he got a new car. That's his story with his car.
Listen
Isn't that
here.
incredible?
And
he doesn't know what happened to that car.
See, I
either.
appreciate the commitment to get to the game. I mean, that's what it's really all about. When you think about it, I mean, here's a guy, he
Yeah.
wrecked the vehicle, and still, most guys at that point would have said, they would have stayed there. They would have tried to obviously get the authorities and say, this is what happened. This is more important.
sure.
No, he said, hey, let me get to the stadium.
He thumbed it.
Because I need to play.
With Natron Means business
Oh, that's nice, man.
to the stadium.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.